Hey, welcome to Heartland. Whether this is your first time here, your first time in a long time, or maybe you're here all the time, I'm so glad that you're here. This is a church, Heartland is a church that was started for our friends who don't do church, who weren't sure maybe what they think about God or life. But what we believe is that the most important thing about a person is the love that God has for them. And so everything about the service that you're about to experience is aimed at helping you experience the love that God has for you. We have this heartbeat around here that we call our mission statement, that we're here to make space, to build relationships, to make Jesus first. That we believe nothing cuts through the noise of our lives or the chaos of this world like Jesus does. And so we're here to make him first in our lives and in our church. And as we do, and as we live in those Jesus first ways throughout the week, we believe that the people around us get to experience all of who Jesus is. They get to experience his grace and his compassion and his forgiveness and even his power and his truth. So as we jump into the service together, feel the freedom just to sit back and take it all in. Enjoy it. Enjoy the coffee. Enjoy the music. Or if you want, just jump in and celebrate with us as we worship and celebrate who God is, as we consider together how he's inviting us to live and to be challenged in some of the ways that maybe he wants to challenge us. But know this, we're glad that you're here. We know that Heartland is a great church to come to. I hope that you experience that. But we also know that it's an even better community to be a part of. And so if you're looking to call a place home, we hope that we can be that home for you. Move at your own pace, but when you're ready to take that next step, we're here to help. We hope that we can be the home that you're looking for.
Merry Christmas, Heartland friends. We are so excited for you to join us this Christmas weekend. In fact, we've been preparing for over a month to create something special just for you. We have gone on location, rehearsed music, spent time in the studio, and recorded this Christmas gift with you and your family and friends in mind the entire time. In a moment, you will hear from Dan Jacobson, followed by a brief Christmas worship set. We hope you have a warm cup of something in hand, some favorite people gathered nearby, and the best seat in the house. May you experience the grace and peace of Christmas in this offering.
Have you heard about the Christmas truce? 1914, World War I. The Germans and the British have been battling for months. The war is not going quickly. They think that it's going to drag on for a long time. And as December rolls on, both sides are entrenched on the Western Front in a battle that most of the soldiers don't even want to be fighting in. What would it take for you to give up on the orders of your king or your emperor? For these soldiers, the longer the war waged on and the more it approached Christmas, the less and less the fighting became intense. In fact, on Christmas Eve, 1914, the German army did something rather unthinkable. They put up Christmas trees on the top of their lines. They waved a white flag and they yelled out, "Hey British, rendezvous, rendezvous." The British obviously didn't take them seriously. And the Germans put their hands up and started walking towards the opposite lines. When they got there, they said, "It feels to us like on Christmas Day, being people just like you with families back home in a war that we don't want to be fighting. Maybe we could have a little bit of humanity here in the midst of a war. Would you play football with us?" And so, as reports have it, the British accepted the truce and they hopped out of their bunkers and they, on Christmas Eve, played football, soccer, in no man's land. It's a really interesting story for me because I don't know about you, I wouldn't maybe be quick to accept the white flag of an enemy. I also, being the type of person that I am, might not want to go against the orders of the person who sent me out there to do a mission in the first place. To be able to accept the truce meant that both sides, the Germans would have to reject the instructions of their emperor, and the British would have to reject the instructions and the mission of their king. They'd have to give up on the advancement of their own cause to be able to enjoy peace. And they did. But peace just for days. What is it that makes us want to give up orders to be able to enjoy a bit of humanity? Back in battles, back in the 17th century, a psychologist was at a war, and he noticed that all of the soldiers, as the war raged on and kept going deep into the calendar, they started to have this, what he described as longing to return to home. There was no such term to describe this longing to go back home, and so he came up with a term. He called it nostalgia. From the battlefields in war, longing for peace, came this term that you use to describe Christmas. Christmas is nostalgic. Christmas is a time where all of us, in our own unique ways, long to go back home. We sing songs about it. I think about that song, I'll Be Home for Christmas, and If Only in My Dreams. All of the Christmas carols that we sing, they tell a story, a particular story about this longing that we have for peace on earth, for us to be able to return to a time where we're not fighting any longer, but that we live in a world where we get along. The Christmas carols of the church all tell this story about peace on earth that comes from God, but even the Christmas story is told through musicians and artists who don't have a particular religious bent to them. I think about the song Someday at Christmas. Stevie Wonder sang this in 1967. It's an incredible song. He says, "Someday at Christmas, men won't be boys, playing with bombs like kids play with toys. Someday at Christmas, our hearts will see a world where men are free." I think without even realizing it, Stevie Wonder put his finger upon the historical pulse of humanity. And he told the story that's actually told by the Bible. Stevie Wonder, in his song Someday at Christmas, is actually putting his finger on the historical arc of the entire world that goes all the way back to the first humans. After the moment of chaos where the world broke, God gave a promise to Adam and Eve that said, one day, someday, at Christmas, I'll send my son to defeat and wage war and defeat evil. The Hebrew prophets and kings and their priests and their poets would tell the story throughout the generations that someday God will send us a king that will conquer evil, that will put right the world that has been broken. One day all of our fighting will be put away. Someday, they didn't use the word Christmas, but someday at Christmas, men will be free. All throughout the Psalms and the prophets, you have people like Isaiah saying, "To us a child is born." Micah told the town of Bethlehem, "Someday at Christmas from you will come a line of rulers that will rule just like David, the greatest king that Israel had ever seen." Zechariah, living at the time when Jesus was born, the uncle of Jesus, he prophesied. He said, "Someday, where the sun will rise upon us, God will bring us someone to guide our feet into the way of peace." And on Christmas, so many years ago, someday finally came. The surprise that Christmas was that not everybody woke up to peace. You see, you can have a new king, but not experience new peace. In monarchies all over the world, the transition from one monarch to another is not necessarily one of peace. It's just one of order. And when God on Christmas sent his new king to the world, it wasn't necessarily an invasion that everyone expected, where God's rule and God's reign and God's law would finally be pushed into everyone's life, that they must accept it. In fact, no, not everybody did accept it. And God came that Christmas so long ago, humbled by his birth in the form of a baby, for a very particular reason. Because the peace of God is not something that just he invades our life with, but he invites us into. God grew up in the form of Jesus and extended invitations to people all across his region, all across the world. Not that he would force his way upon them, but you and I would recognize who he is, realize he's the Son of God, and receive him as our King. You see, Jesus is the only king who offers us both peace and order. He is the only one who, by recognizing him as our king, ushers in real peace. I don't know where you're listening to this from or watching from. Maybe you're in travel, going to see your family at this season, or you're at the house getting ready for all of your family to descend, or you're just catching a quiet moment in the midst of this season. I want you to hear this. God loves you so much. God sent his son for us. Someday at Christmas, God came to earth, born as a child, humbled by birth. So someday at Christmas, our hearts could see he's truly the King of Kings. That's not Stevie Wonder, I just kind of made that up. But that's the hope of the peace that we have at Christmas, is that all the rest of our Christmases can be different because of what God did so long ago. So today, wherever you are, I hope you can recognize Jesus as the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, the one who doesn't give you a truce, but gives you peace. If you'll just come and worship him. Merry Christmas.
Cast my mind to Calvary, where Jesus bled and died for me. I see his wounds, his hands, his feet, my Savior on that cursed tree. His body bound and drenched in tears, they laid him down in Joseph's tomb, the entrance sealed by heavy stone. Messiah still and all alone. Oh, praise the name of the Lord our God. Oh, praise his name forevermore. For endless days we will sing your praise, oh Lord, our God. Then on the third, at break of dawn, the Son of Heaven rose again. Oh, trample death, where is your sting? The angels roar for Christ our King. Oh, praise the name of the Lord our God. Oh, praise his name forevermore. For endless days we will sing your praise, oh Lord, our God. He shall return in robes of white, the blazing sun shall pierce the night, and I will rise among the saints, my gaze transfixed on Jesus' face. Oh, praise the name of the Lord our God. Oh, praise his name forevermore.
have loved getting to spend Christmas with you, Heartland. Please join us on January 1st at 10 a.m. as we gather in one service for our new series, Kick the Habit. We will explore spiritual habits all month that will help us each grow in our relationship with Jesus. We'll see you next weekend.